Las Vegas, MMAjunkie is on scene and reporting live from today's UFC 213 event, and you can join us for live play-by-play and official results beginning at 7 p.m. ET, 4 p.m. PT. The event takes place at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and it airs on pay-per-view following prelims on FS1 and UFC Fight Pass. Following the late notice cancellation of the original main event, Yoel Romero takes on Robert Whittaker for the interim middleweight title in the new headliner. Follow along with our round-by-round updates and official results beginning at approximately 7 p.m. ET for the UFC Fight Pass prelims, 8 p.m. ET for the FS1 prelims, and 10 p.m. ET for the pay-per-view main card. To discuss the show, be sure to check out our UFC 213 discussion thread. You can also get behind-the-scenes coverage and other event notes from on-site reporters John Morgan, @MMAjunkie and Stephen Marocco, @MMAjunkie on Twitter. Round 1, Whittaker with a front kick to the body that misses. High kick blocked. Romero retreats from a Whittaker charge and slips under a big punch. Romero kicks to the body, and Whittaker slips to the floor but pops back up. Whittaker front kick to the body scores. Right hand lands and a big left just misses. Romero fires a hook kick. He pushes inside and drives Whittaker to the floor. He tries to sneak to the back, but Whittaker uses the cage to peel him off and escape. Leaping knee for Whittaker misses, but he gets close and locks the body. He tries to drive Whittaker to the floor, but he remains upright. Still, Romero has his hands clasped and presses the cation to the cage. Eventually, he lets go and backs away. Another front kick from Whittaker. He leaps in with quick punches. Low kick in return from Romero. Whittaker does sneak in a short right hand. Whittaker the aggressor on the feet, but Romero avoiding well. Romero walks through a strike for a takedown but doesn't get it. Low kick for Romero. High kick for Whittaker just misses. Round ends, and MMAjunkie leans toward Romero, 10-9. Round 2, Whittaker light on his feet. He fires a high kick that's blocked. Romero leaps with a Superman punch but is pushes away by a front kick. Huge punch from Romero misses. Big knee from Romero scores to the body. He slips under a Whittaker strike and gets a big takedown. Whittaker holds guard underneath. He ties up his hands, looking to slow things down and get the restart. Romero punches to stay busy and then works a crossface to try and create some room. Whittaker looks for a sweep. Not there, but he does get to his feet. Romero on the back and controlling. Whittaker working hard to break the grip. He can't get away, but he does turn inside and now has his back to the cage. Romero slips to the back again and foot sweeps him to the floor. Whittaker pops right back up and has to defend against the cage. Knee from Whittaker, and Romero says it's low, but we carry on. Referee John McCarthy calls for more work. Not there, so he calls for the restart with less than a minute. Whittaker rushes out on the restart. Romero slips under it but can't get the fight to the floor. Romero back to the clinch. He drops down with a slick little inside trip and finishes on top. Round ends there, and MMAjunkie gives it again to Romero, 10-9. Round 4, Whittaker still light on his feet. Romero moves in but walks into a high kick. Romero shoots forward and wraps the body. He takes Whittaker down but only briefly. Great scramble from Whittaker, but Romero is just as quick, and he stays tied to the back. Whittaker keeps pushing and turns inside for finally pulling away. Excellent defense from Whittaker. 3 minutes left. Romero slips under a left and almost gets the takedown, but Whittaker slips away. Leaping knee for Romero as Whittaker moves in. Whittaker fires a right that misses. High kick for Whittaker. Left hand scores. Front kicks to the body land for Whittaker. Romero answers with a low kick. 90 seconds left in a tight round. Left hand lands for Whittaker. Romero in on a takedown but can't get it. Left hands for Whittaker. Romero short on another takedown. Romero gets in tight and pushes forward, but Whittaker retreats to the cage and pulls away. Romero breathing very heavily at the bell. MMAjunkie gives it to Whittaker, 10-9. Round 5, show of respect to start the final round. Both men striking to open. Romero just ducks under a high kick. Whittaker pushing, but Romero standing and firing back. Traded punches in the pocket. Romero looks exhausted. He slips a Whittaker punch and counters. Romero's punches have lost quite a bit of steam. Whittaker bleeding from the nose a bit. He's the aggressor. He's taking a few deep breaths, as well. Leaping knee from Whittaker. It misses, but Romero can't quite push him to the floor. Romero bleeding a bit, as well, from the right temple. Both men digging deep. Front kick from Whittaker. Romero stalking. Low kick fired. Whittaker trying to dart in and out of range. Low kick sweeps Romero to the floor with 90 seconds left. Whittaker jumps on top. Huge moment there. Romero with an open guard. Whittaker postures with a few elbows. Time winding down. Whittaker happy to stay heavy on top. Romero tries to buck and roll. He creates some space, but Whittaker adjusts and pushes him back down. Elbows from the top. Whittaker finishing strong. Fight ends there. MMAjunkie gives the final round to Whittaker, 10-9, awarding him the fight 48-47. Result, Robert Whittaker def. Yoel Romero via unanimous decision, 48-47, 48-47, 48-47. Recap. Photos. Records, Romero, 12-2 MMA, 8-1 UFC, Whittaker, 19-4 MMA, 10-2 UFC. Division, middleweight. Rankings, Romero number 2, Whittaker number 4. Broadcast, pay-per-view. Referee, John McCarthy. Judging. Results. Trevin Giles vs James Boknovic. Round 1, Boknovic out quickly with a few jabs, but Giles lands first with a low kick. Boknovic lands his own kick to the thigh. Boknovic reaching with his length and lands a nice kick to the body and then the legs. They move into the clinch, and Giles wraps the body and drops his opponent to the floor. Boknovic in guard and looks to work his legs onto the shoulder. Giles rains down a few punches while Boknovic tries to earn wrist control. Boknovic can't quite get the position, and Giles switches out to side control while working himself free. Boknovic turns his attention to the right arm but can't torque it. Boknovic turns to his knees, and Giles drives in a few punches while looking to work in hooks. Boknovic tries to rise, but Giles scoops him and puts him again on his back. Boknovic turns again and gets to his feet, but Giles hits the beautiful suplex to the floor. Boknovic turns to guard, but Giles peppers him with power shots while posturing. Round ends, and MMAjunkie gives it to Giles, 10-9. Round 2, Boknovic firing kicks to start, trying to use his reach. Giles lands a jab, followed by a two-punch combination. Boknovic's right cheek is busted up, and he's already showing some fatigue. More punches from Giles. Boknovic stumbles, and Giles slips around to his back. Boknovic turns to the canvas, and Giles controls from the side. Giles tries to step over to mount. Boknovic turns to his knees. Giles drives elbows into his ribs. Boknovic stands, but Giles grabs him and puts hit back on the canvas. Giles works to back mount and starts punching. They're landing flush, and Boknovic is out cold. Vicious. Result, Trevin Giles def. James Boknovic via knockout, punches, round 2, 254. Recap, Trevin Giles dominates before knockout of James Boknovic in UFC debut. Photos, Trevin Giles vs James Boknovic photos. Records, Giles, 10-0 MMA, 1-0 UFC, Boknovic, 8-2 MMA, 0-1 UFC. Division, Light Heavyweight. Broadcast, UFC Fight Pass. Referee, Mark Smith.